Today on Argo News, we have stories on exciting activities at UWF, and then we will take you outside of campus to get in the air, back in time, and living in the fast lane. And then we catch up with the anniversary of the BP oil spill. All that and more on this week's edition of
Good afternoon, Pensacola. I'm Jordan Grinnell.
And I'm Savannah Taylor.
And this is Argo News.
The University of West Florida recently held one of their largest annual events, Festival on the Green.
You may have heard about this event, but do you know the process preparing for it? Probably not. Here's Joanne Broxton with the scoop.
UWF's Festival on the Green offers recognition to many organizations and vendors, but what about the people who help put it on?
The Festival on the Green is a collection of events, some of which we already have on campus and some of which we bring on. The general preparation, we're always looking, we start immediately. We're already working on next year's festival right now, just prepping for what kinds of things we might look at. And the group basically has teams that work around each of these individuals. And we have, I believe, about 20 venue coordinators, and they have particular areas. Basically, we use individuals and we ask those individuals who have been involved to basically come in and sort of tutor their replacements as they go, bring them into their committee and try and keep those things moving. So we let that kind of reside with the people who have worked with it, and sometimes I'll help out. But I try and get people to select individuals that they know they work well with, so that when they're working and training and prepping them to take over, that it's somebody that they get along with real well and has a similar vision and everything. So we use that, and then we basically occasionally will go out and do a little recruiting to find those new individuals to fill in. What happens for the festival, the committee, the main committee members are normally here. Some of them are starting on Thursday night, because the vendors come in to do an early setup. So they'll come in and they'll start working with them, coordinating traffic, because they've got to come into the heart of the campus and you've got cars where they normally aren't supposed to be at all. You really have to look at every conceivable part, trying to get all these things to work together and to give people some sense of order.
It seems that this year all of their planning has paid off. I'm Joanne Broxton reporting for Argo News.
Now that you know the history behind Festival on the Greens, here's Savannah Taylor with how the event has become bigger and better.
If you're wondering what went on at Festival on the Green, here's where you find out.
The university did have a Festival on the Green in the 80s, about 1984 to 1986, but it was much smaller, didn't have the same scope, and it was really primarily for our folks like our alumni and our current faculty and staff and students. But this one is open up to the general public. It is much broader in the scope of things that we're doing. Makes it a lot more interesting. So this is the 14th year. We've added a little bit each year. Some years we've had some big name folks come in, and that came from basically other resources. So we always have something a little different. Sometimes we just tweak some of the areas, which we did this year. We kind of tweaked several areas to make them more interesting. On the main green, our time portal to the past, we'll be looking at Model A cars. We'll have some people from West Florida Historic Preservation, our archaeology and anthropology departments, all doing some presentations on the back side of the green, and on the front of it they'll have the open air stage, which we have each year. There are three main stages. That's one of them. The other is the diversity stage, and then the entertainment stage, which will be down by where Bistro Blue is. And down in that area we have a children's festival. We look back in that same area, we have our festival food group, and they just bring out the normal kind of stuff that you find at a festival that you'd not normally find every day here on campus. So it gives students opportunity to get out there and try some stuff. The K9 Arena, that's one of our most popular events. They have dog shows, dog agility shows, and flyball shows just about on top of every hour while they're out here. It's a hoot. Loads of fun.
Hopefully everyone got a chance to check out this year's festivities. From Festival on the Green, I'm Savannah Taylor reporting for Argo News. Festival on the Green took place at the University of West Florida.
Reporter Max Natsady takes you to a galaxy far, far away.
Do you like Star Wars? Do you like Star Wars so much that you want to become a Star Wars character? Then the 501st Legion might be just what you're looking for.
So the 501st Legion, it's a group of Star Wars fans first most. We're a group of people that love Star Wars. We love making Star Wars costumes, props. We get together, do fundraisers for different charities, show up at conventions, represent Star Wars, try to recruit new people. But mostly it's all about having fun and loving Star Wars. Probably the big difference for us, a lot of cosplay groups don't really focus on being screen accurate. They try to, they'll do their own spin on it or kind of adjust the costume to be sexy or whatever versus being true to the character. Another thing that we do that a lot of other groups don't do is focus on trying to raise money for different charities. A lot of groups they don't try to do that. We like to have fun, but at the same time we try to raise money for groups and make sure kids have a good time getting pictures and stuff. The number one reason to be part of the group is it's other people that are into Star Wars. It's people that you can connect with. You make a lot of good friends. Another reason is you end up with a cool costume in the end of it. Pick your favorite character. You can be that favorite character, and because you're networked with us, we can help you get to that point. We have lots of members with lots of experience that can help you get there. I've always been a very shy person, but it's very interesting to be able to build a cool costume with fun people that are into the same thing, and then I can put this helmet on and everyone wants to take pictures with you, and making kids have a good time and smiling. It's just all about the interaction to me. It's a lot of fun.
If you're interested in learning more about the 501st Legion and how you can become your favorite Star Wars villain, then visit 501st.com. I'm Max Natsady, reporting for Argo News.
If you missed Festival on the Green, here's another exciting UWF event to attend. Reporter Graham Clark with more on the event.
Are you looking for a place to party at the University of West Florida, but don't want to leave the parking lot? Cab After Dark may be for you.
4th year of Cab After Dark, and this year is going to be bigger and better. We're doing more of a block party type of atmosphere with over 20 attractions. Those attractions include Velcro wall, zip lining, rock wall, to fried Oreos, funnel cakes, a lot of food vendors also. And then at the end of the night, we have a DJ show when the ride shut down. We're bringing in a national DJ to finish off the night. So we have looked at all safety concerns. We started with just brainstorming back in September. And then we probably work anywhere between 20 to 40 hours a week just on this event, starting back in February. This year we're going to open it up to general public, and it's $10 for a ticket for a wristband for adults, and then children 12 and under it's $7. And 2 days before the event, so April 23rd, it goes up to $15 per everyone. We took the students' concerns to play, and we based it on what they wanted to see. They wanted to see more food vendors and fewer lines. So we took that into consideration, and we spread out the whole parking lot. It was consolidated into a certain area last year, but this year it's going to be the whole parking lot. So students are going to be wowed by the amount of attractions we had. And then the national DJ we're bringing in is going to be on stage, and it's going to finish off the night for a nice little end of the year type of celebration thing.
If you would like to go to Cab After Dark, go to uwf.edu/cab. I'm Graham Clark, reporting for Argo News.
Scientists may not have invented a time machine yet, but reporter Nicole Campbell is going to help you dance your way to the past.
Ever wanted to dance your way back through time?
Well, first of all, Common Ground is always looking for ways to just be different in how we educate the public. We're a training organization, so everything we do is about teaching. We are constantly training ourselves before we go out to train others. And so Dr. Wiley had the idea that we should incorporate dance as we're looking at where our country has come from. And when you think about dance, you don't, I think sometimes you underestimate the influence that other cultures have had on our own culture, because you know that people have come here from all over, but along with coming, they brought their traditions and their dances. So I think we just really wanted to reach out to people and have them to look at themselves and look at others and realize that, yeah, we have differences, but we also have a lot of similarities. I think sometimes we underestimate the strides that have been made in making sure that everyone feels included. And with music, I see that there's less separation there. And so I think it's just the easier way to reach more people.
That sure was a blast from the past that I'll never forget. I'm Nicole Campbell reporting for Argo News.
UDF students aren't just smart, they can also do art. Najee Moye will help paint the picture for you.
Henry David Thoreau once said that the world is but a canvas of our own imagination. You want to know what's going on in the imaginations of UWF students?
This week at TAG, we have the opening reception for our annual student exhibition, which is a great opportunity for students to exhibit their work in a contemporary art gallery, give them professional experience. And the reception's at 5 p.m. this Thursday. We have a wide range of art in the gallery for the tagged exhibition. We have anything from traditional painting, drawing, and ceramics to digital media, video, as well as installation pieces. Many of the works are for sale, and if anyone's interested in purchasing an artwork, all they have to do is inquire with myself or one of our gallery desk workers. The mission of TAG is to function as a pedagogical space. We're an academic gallery, so our main mission is to provide that experience for students, staff, faculty, and the local community. Many galleries and museums have an exhibition schedule that's planned out years in advance. So for professional artists to go about getting a show in a gallery or museum, you typically will submit a proposal. And then that will be juried by a committee or by the curator, and then that person will usually have an exhibition in 2 or 3 years. For a competition like this student show, the students are asked to drop off their work, and then the faculty jury the content of the show. And for this particular year's exhibition, we had the curator from the Pensacola Museum of Art come and do the awards this afternoon. At the award ceremony for the tagged exhibition, we give out not only awards for the best in show, second place, third place, honorable mentions. We also give out departmental awards, so to recognize student achievements in BFA Studio Art, BA Studio, Art History, and Graphic Design.
A wise man once said that the essence of all art, all beautiful art, all great art is gratitude. There's a lot of gratitude here at TAG. I'm Najee Moye reporting for Argo News.
Are you a fan of Law & Order or of law in general? Lauren Tannenbaum is here with an organization that will help you solve the case.
If you're interested in law, then Phi Alpha Delta might be the right organization for you to join.
Phi Alpha Delta is a pre-law fraternity here at the University of West Florida. We started in Maryland as an initiative founded by a group of lawyers in order to promote and establish future lawyers of America. We networked out across the United States and internationally, and we are known here on campus as the Future Lawyers of America. We do a lot of community service locally. We have adopted a couple of highways here in the Escambia County area, and we're trying to make ourselves known throughout the community that way. My favorite part about being involved in Phi Alpha Delta is the brother and sisterhood that you get from it. We are an academic fraternity, but at the same time we like to promote and instill that brotherhood and sisterhood, because you never know who you're going to meet that's a Phi Alpha Delta member when you continue on in your education through life. One of the most unique advantages with Phi Alpha Delta is the networking. Whenever you seek higher education, whether that's law school or any kind of graduate level, it's always important to have resources wherever you go. To be a member of Phi Alpha Delta, you have to have an allotted GPA of a 2.5. You need 1 letter of recommendation letter. You need to be in good standings with the requirements on a national level of Phi Alpha Delta, and you need to have good poise and professionalism carried out. The mission of Phi Alpha Delta is to instill professionalism within every member of the organization to promote lifelong learning and high sense of integrity in every career that you accomplish.
For more information, contact Susan Harrell, the fraternity advisor in Building 86. I'm Lauren Tannenbaum reporting for Argo News.
Do you like student organizations? Reporter Rebecca Barkley has a story on one you might not have caught yet.
Do you want to be the very best, like no one ever was?
Pokemon's a concept that came out a long time ago. The games have been out for 20 years. It's had several different versions come out over the years, and they always come in pairs. And the games were actually invented to promote trading back on the original Game Boys. They had a little link cable that was invented specifically for this, where, you know, if I had the red version versus someone else's blue version, there were things you couldn't have in both games without having a friend to trade them over. I mean, there's a rock, paper, scissors RPG element to it, where you have, you know, fire beats grass, grass beats water, water beats fire, but there's so many different combinations of what you can do with the different Pokemon of those types that it really just becomes an insanely strategic game.
The Pokemon Club falls into the special interest category of the school's clubs and activities, and the reason for it, the reason why I decided to create it is simple. I'm a senior here, majoring in public relations, and being in that field and being on this campus for so long, the one thing I know is students need an outlet. You know, we're talking anytime, anywhere, any other day. If you have the game, you'll bump into at least 2 or 3 people playing it in your department, walking to class, in the cafeteria, just because it's what we do as an outlet.
In order to choose who would be gym leaders and who's going to be elites, this semester it was first come, first serve. If you chose what your type was or your theme, you were just allowed to be that way. But if there was any, and once we had run out of slots, then it became contested. We actually had a bunny gym leader who would use nothing but bunny Pokemon going up against a normal type gym leader. Competing for this same slot. It ended up being that the bunny gym leader beat the normal gym leader, so he became our official bunny gym leader. We have 45 members, 45 active members. We've got 65 total. We meet in building 74, room 109, and maybe someday if we have too many people show up, we'll move it. But what we do is we meet there at Thursdays at 4:30.
The UWF Pokemon Club, where training is their cause. I'm Rebecca Bartley reporting for Argo News.
I am so hungry. I think I'm gonna get a big greasy burger after this.
You know, that's probably not the healthiest way to prepare for bikini season. Shannon Hemmings has a story that will enlighten your eating choices.
Eating healthy and staying fit on college campuses can be even harder than passing the most difficult college exam. Gaining weight when one comes to college has become a common trend, sometimes known as the freshman 15.
They try to eat the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they try to eat the same thing as what's from home, and as you get into college, your body changes and you kind of have to adjust that. I think that it's not as common as it once was because more people are health conscious, but I think that it's just different and they try to keep the same routine and they're not used to having to go out and do new things on their own and find new varieties and figure out their schedule and eating habits.
UWF, among many other universities, have tried to shift the unhealthy practices of students by providing them with healthier eating options.
Different healthy options that we have in our Nautilus Market, which is the all-you-care-to-eat facility. We've got a salad bar. I think that's really popular for students. It's got fresh veggies, but we've got tons of vegetables, and then of course, like I mentioned, the gluten-free options and the different having a wheat, wrap instead of maybe having just a flour one. So different small things that students don't really notice unless you point out to them that are healthy for them.
While eating options play a role in creating a healthier college environment, a study in the American Journal of Preventative Medicine found that changes in activity level might be the biggest factor in freshman weight gain.
There's a rock climbing wall, you can rent kayaks, you can go out and do the intramural sports that they offer. I think just staying active. We've got 2 really nice nature trails on campus that probably half the students don't know about. And so I think taking advantage of those free services that the campus offers can definitely promote like a healthier lifestyle. So on top of eating healthy, just staying active.
While maintaining a healthy lifestyle in college can be quite the challenge, there are plenty of resources available to students to help them to eat healthy and to stay active. I'm Shannon Hemmings, reporting for Argo News.
So my parents just told me that I have to move out.
Well, I guess you could crash on my couch.
Actually, I don't have to. Didn't allow me told me about a great place to live.
Are you looking for a place to live in this fall? Well, this place has it all.
College View is a new student complex that is going to be going up around the University of West Florida, and it's about half a mile away from the university. All of our units come fully furnished with all utilities included, as well with a washer and dryer. And then we also have a 24-hour fitness center and a 24-hour iMac computer lab with free printing available. Everybody just has to bring their own paper. We're also going to have a pool that will be open for the residents to use, and we'll have a volleyball court and a little grilling area for them to use as well. We also have a tanning salon in our office, and the residents are to use it for free, and it's part of what's included in their rent. We also provide all the utilities as far as internet, cable, and pest control once a week. And also your water and electricity are going to be capped at 30, so that's also going to come included in the utility package.
We have 3 different layouts. We have a 4-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, and we also have a second 2-bedroom, our 2A and our 2B. With every bedroom in every unit, it comes with its own walk-in closet and full-size bathroom, and every apartment itself has a full-size washer and dryer. We like to be really involved with all the college students, so we recently just had an event at Chick-fil-A where we gave out a lot of free food and a lot of our promo items, as well as having several raffles. And we have an event coming up in April that's Cab After Dark, and that is the Campus Activity Board with the University of West Florida. And that is basically a block party. We're going to give out the same kind of stuff. And then is also, when all of our residents move in, we'll be having pool parties and raffles and stuff like that to get everybody involved.
Come out and visit College View today. Spaces are still available. They are located at 9823 Topia Drive, Pensacola, Florida. I'm Jenna Lamy, reporting for Argo News.
Now that you found the apartment of your dreams, you might need a job for that rent.
Here's James Miles with one man's working story.
Paying the bills is nice, but entry-level jobs have a more profound impact than you might think.
Well, I'm a manager in a food service industry, and it's all right, but I am in college right now for being an electrical engineer. And after I get my bachelor in electrical engineering, I would like to go further and get the master's in business. So that way I can be kind of the supervisor over the other electrical engineers. The key thing that I've learned is leadership qualities. Several leadership qualities that I've developed being a manager over other individuals. It's just, being able to get people to be influenced by you, get people to earn your trust, get them to trust you so that they'll be willing to do what you ask them to do and when you asked it. Just good leadership qualities and how to manage a group of people and how to keep the morale high and their hopes up as well as your own. The main training you get is at the workplace itself. Being there and being hands-on is definitely the best trainer, as experience is the best teacher. I think the most difficult part of the food service industry is making every customer happy. Food is kind of more of a touchy subject than anything else. Someone can buy some clothes and take it back. Someone could buy some food and gets terribly sick off of it and then try to sue you. So food is much more delicate, and trying to make everyone's food craving satisfied is definitely the hardest part of the food service industry.
Working in food service is no picnic, but it will definitely prepare you for one. I'm James Miles, reporting for Argo News.
The Naval Air Station of Pensacola is museum-rich with history. Reporter Christopher Thrasher has more on the story.
The National Museum of Naval Aviation has a significant economic impact on the Pensacola community and is an important repository of both culture and aviation history.
We cover aviation right from day one, and we cover both with aircraft and memorabilia the entire history of naval aviation right up through the present day. The people in the local area derive a great deal of benefit financially from the museum itself. This is one of the major tourist attractions in the state of Florida. As a matter of fact, it was ranked among the top 10. You can see the number of people here that are in the museum right now, and throughout the summer, which is our high period, they come from all parts of the country, and matter of fact, a number of foreign countries. There's a great display of a presidential helicopter called Marine One. It is an actual helicopter that was used by both Presidents Nixon and Ford. We also have a display being built right now, being completed, which honors the Apollo astronauts. We commemorate the Blue Angels. We have, of course, an F-18 Hornet aircraft currently in use by the Blue Angels. Our atrium features 4 A4 Skyhawks, which formerly were used by the Blue Angels from 1974 till 1987. The aircraft I'm standing in front of here, the F-8 Crusader, flew that for several years. I flew the F-4 Phantom, which is next to the F-8 here in the Hangar Bay 1 of the museum. I was in the Marine Corps for 30 years and a Marine Corps aviator, fighter pilot. So this is kind of a natural environment for me. I only had two ambitions. One was to be a professional baseball player, and the other was to be a naval aviator, and my professional baseball career ended quickly.
The National Naval Aviation Museum provides an important service by preserving fascinating pieces of history. I'm Christopher Thrasher, reporting for Argo News.
Do you have the need? The need for speed? Here's Jordan Grinnell with a story that might make you do a double take.
Do you like to live life in the fast lane?
Phi Alpha Speedway was built in 1953. Auto racing was a fairly new sport at that time, and it was built. The very first race run in 1953, there was a 14-car crash on the very first lap, and so they ended up canceling the race, and so 61 years later, here we are. Our demographic for auto racing reaches from very young to elderly. Middle-aged crowd is the highest percentage of race fans, but in recent years, with the coming of age of the younger drivers, if you would, more and more young people are beginning to recognize the sport. We typically draw 2,500, 3,000 people on any given night during the regular season, and then of course when we have special events, it's more. And our signature event here is the Snowball Derby. It happens every December. It's the largest sporting event in Northwest Florida and has been for quite a few years. And over a 4-day period, we draw in excess of 30,000 people. The Snowball Derby has evolved from its inception in 1968 to a single 100-lap stock car race to now what is a week-long schedule of festivities, culminating in the main event, which is the Sunday afternoon 300-lap Snowball Derby. Prior to that, different divisions of cars from around the country will run. The racing actually starts on Thursday night, continues on Friday night, again all day Saturday and Saturday night, and then of course the big event on Sunday. For the most part, when you come in the gates here at Five Flags Speedway, there's an electricity in the air. The anticipation of the coming event, and then once the green flag drops on the race and the cars start competing, and they will occasionally swap paint, as we like to say, bump and grind a little bit, and guys will bump each other out of the way and occasionally spin out, and sometimes it's worse than that, and they'll wind up sliding into a concrete retaining wall at 100 miles an hour. But that being said, they're all on a quest to get to victory lane and get the trophy and kiss the girl, as they say.
So come out to Five Flags Speedway for a lot of fun and a lot of cars. I'm Jordan Grinnell with Argo News. Earlier, we danced our way to the past, and now reporter Daniel Lynham will take you on a tour of Pensacola's history.
Looking for your chance to step back in time?
So I was surprised when I came here back in '95 how much Pensacola keeps popping up in history that they don't actually teach. We're UWF Historic Trust. The UWF Historic Trust is overseen by the University of West Florida. We're a direct support organization of the university. We're kind of their downtown campus. Okay, well, there are several types of tours offered. The first is the general public tour, and that tour will take you to the 1805 Lavallee House, the 1871 Door House, 1832 Old Christ Church, and the 1890 Lear Rocheblade Home. And also gives you access to the self-guided museums like we're sitting right now. This is the Museum of Commerce. And it's a self-guided museum that's open to you with that ticket price. The public tour that we have for regular people, we offer it as a private option, where you're able to pay a group rate. Whether you're university or not, you do pay for this option. You're able to select the time that you want to come, and you can kind of do an a la carte. You can say that, I want to do the Door House, I want to do Old Christ Church, and let's see the colonial cooking program. And we will customize the tour for you. But the average tour should be no more than an hour and a half. Visitors will come to the area and they will go to the Tivoli High House, which is located directly behind us over here. And you can buy a ticket. The average price is $6 for adults unless you're AAA active military or 65 and over. Then they're $5, kids are $3, and they're good for 7 days. If you're a UWF student, you bring your ID card and you will get tickets free for the guided tours and stuff. We're a very complex organization. Unlike most museums, we don't concentrate on one particular area. We cover Northwest Florida history, and we basically, interpret multiple periods of time. We interpret Victorian homes, colonial homes. We have a children's museum. We have a house that covers the 1920s, one that covers World War II. So it's a vast canvas of historical times that we cover. The village is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are open pretty much year-round.
From beautiful buildings that guests can enter, to children's museums, to more traditional museums such as the T.T. Wentworth, the Pensacola Historic Trust offers a variety of activities for all guests to enjoy. I'm Daniel Lynham reporting for Argo News.
Remember when learning was more than a tablet and really got you involved? Corinne Williams has a place that may spark some interest.
Are you looking for a fun place for your children to learn? Then the Pensacola Mess Hall may be the place for you.
The Pensacola Mess Hall was created out of a need we saw in the community for informal science opportunities, ways to keep kids learning science outside of the classroom, give them the chance to do something creative and explore science on their own terms. Really, we're not trying to teach them science facts, the things that you're going to be tested on your standardized test about, but more how to think scientifically, experimenting, trying different things, what happens if I do this or that. So it's really an experience much more than learning specific things, but it's an exposure to all sorts of topics, and a lot of times it's things that kids never thought they were interested in science until it's presented in a different way. So we have a variety of exhibits that are very open-ended. There are materials out for kids to get to create their own experiments. They can try many different things. And we also have the mess kits, which are small activities that come with instructions, get the kids started. Many of them are things that the kids can take home and keep experimenting at home. The activities, while they start as a cookbook, kind of step by step, there really are numerous directions they can go once they get started. People who study science learning always emphasize that one of the key steps to get started learning science is to mess around. And I liked that idea and that concept of how you learn. And slowly we realized, well, MESS can stand for math, engineering, and science and stuff. And then we realized, of course, that mess hall is a military thing. And we went ahead and went all the way out. So we have part of our setup is the mess kits, which you order from a menu and you're served on a cafeteria tray.
The Pensacola Mess Hall has a variety of activities that are both fun and educational. I'm Corinne Williams reporting for Argo News.
Radio is how we find out about new music, news, and entertaining things to do. Reporter Seth Patterson took a visit to Apex Broadcasting Studios to find out more.
Need some new presets? Check out these 4 stations out of Destin and Fort Walton, Florida, with big plans coming up.
Our stations at Apex Broadcasting are Highway 98 Country, Q92 Hit Music Now, 103.1 The Blaze, and 102.1 The Wave. We play everything. Highway 98 Country, pretty self-explanatory. It's a country station, newer country, a lot of energy, a lot of fun, a lot of concerts, a lot of live interaction. Q92 Hit Music Now also tells you what it is. It's top 40, new music, dance, party intensive. 102.1 The Wave, we play everything. Little different than a normal radio station where we do play everything. We play everything from a Johnny Cash song to a classic rock song to a Kesha song, right there on one radio station. And 103.1 The Blaze is active rock, new rock, and a lot of concerts, a lot of live events, and Blaze Fest. Blaze Fest is an event we started last year, 2013 in May, and we said, hey, we got this new rock product with a lot of rock music, and we want to bring it to the Emerald Coast. So we took some of our big bands that we play on the station, brought them to Niceville, Florida, and rocked it out for 12 hours of live rock and roll music, which is going on again May 24th this year, Blaze Fest 2014, starring Chevelle, All That Remains, and Dirty Heads. There's a lot of ways to interact with our listeners, and what we do is the traditionals pick up the phone and answer when they call, which always works great because there's a one-on-one connection. But we mentioned a lot of the different events we're doing in the community, which is another way to get out, meet people, hang out, make them feel part of what we're doing musically and with the radio stations, events, and promotions. And today's world, it's social media, anywhere from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram. We really love the interaction that we can get, and visually, because people can upload pictures of their families, and they do, and because they feel like they're part of our family. And we've been working together to create that chemistry with our listeners and our audience for a while now, and it just keeps growing.
For more information on these wonderful radio stations, their contests and events, be sure to find them all online at q92online.com, highway98country.com, 1021thewave.com, and 1031theblaze.com. And that's the way Apex broadcasts. This is Seth Patterson reporting for Argo News.
As we all remember the BP oil spill that happened not so long ago, we've learned that research is ongoing and some of it is taking place in UWF laboratories. Reporter Sarah Richards has more on what local scientists are finding.
We are approaching the 4th anniversary of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. Researchers are still learning about the impact it's had on the Gulf ecosystem.
In 2011, UWF received a portion of a $112.5 million grant. The grant was established by BP to study the oil spill effects.
There are a lot of scientists all across the Gulf Coast that are working on oil spill issues, and our role in this is mostly microbial organisms. That's our specialty. We know that microbes ate the oil. That's where the oil went. It's disappeared, and a lot of that was the metabolism of the bacteria that would eat the oil. So we're interested in the microbial organisms that are directly responsible for assimilating that oil and making the oil disappear. The bacteria, archaebacteria, and some of the protozoans that feed on those bacteria are our primary targets of our research.
The UWF research team mainly collects data from the area surrounding the DeSoto Canyon. Dr. Snyder says the area is a dynamic physical place for research. The team consists of 4 primary graduate students and several undergraduates who work under Professor Wade Jeffrey. The team has researched effects of Corexit, the oil dispersant used to dissolve the spill, but that actually increased the level of toxicity in the water.
My research is focused on the effects of oil and Corexit, which is a dispersant used in the bacterioplankton communities, and I'm looking to see if their production was increased or decreased with the addition of that Corexit and how it's affected the overall community. And what I'm finding is a big difference between winter communities and summer communities, whereas the summer communities, the production is much higher with the addition of that Corexit than it is just oil alone on the bacterial communities, but in the winter time, there is no real trend in the community response. And we are also finding that there's specific species of bacteria that can thrive in the presence of oil and or Corexit, but there's also species that disappear and are sensitive to the oil and the Corexit additions.
Researchers say it's likely to take decades for the deep sea ecosystem to recover from the disaster's impacts. I'm Sarah Richards reporting for Argo News.
Thank you, Pensacola, for watching, and I'm Seth Patterson.
I'm Savannah Taylor. And I'm Jordan Grinnell, saying goodbye for the final time on Argo News.
And that's the way Argo News of spring 2014 is.